Alright, I'm going to do a replay of a game I just played. They don't save properly, so I have to do them pretty much right after I play the game, which in a way is a good thing because I can tell you what I was thinking exactly at the time. At the start of this game, I told them that I'm getting ready to go to this SCG event, and I'm practicing, and I tell all of them to team me as hard as they possibly can. I tell my deck is competitive, please do stuff to me. Unfortunately, their decks are a little too slow to really interact, and they don't really get good starts like a Soul Ring. But our hand is LED Wheel, Chrome Mox, Frantic Search, and a couple lands. I misplay slightly here, but it's okay because I don't know if I misplay or not. I can't remember. I think I topped the land first. This is what happens. Anyway, this guy goes Quest for Holy Relic. Oh, yeah, I topped the City of Brass. See, I have a red source, so now I know I can go get Underground Sea. The plan is simply to wheel out and... Where did wheel go? There it is. The plan is simply to wheel out and then just value crack LED for black. Even though there are a lot more blue symbols in this deck, when you are just floating 3 mana and you have nothing else, when you crack the LED, especially right now, starting hand, you would always crack for black here. You can hit Necropotence, you could hit, Doomsday plus free mana plus cantrip. The things you would hit in blue are not that good, but you can also hit tutors like Grim Tutor, Demonic Tutor. There's just more good things that you could wheel into with black open, just better hits than if there is blue. So I guess that's important here. I had to go get the Watery Grave so that I can still fetch the Underground Sea at 2 less life if I need to. I'm going to bend the Frantic Search here over the Mind's Desire because I value the Mind's Desire higher. It will make it easier for me to go off than the Frantic Search will. And I've already got a City of Brass in play, so I'm going to have less than full islands when I try to go off on turn 3 or 4. And I'm just going to wheel out here and crack for black. And we wheel into a great hand with Mox Opal, Demonic Tutor, Helm of Awakening, Hercules Recall, Intuition, Pact of Negation, Island. This is almost a perfect hit. I can't ask for much better than this. What we're going to do here is we're going to set up for a turn 3 Ad Nauseam, because even though I will be tapping out to the Ad Nauseam, with the Helm of Awakening in play, the reason I play this is because, one, their decks are not very good. But even if they were, I wouldn't be too worried, because I have a Pact to protect, which is really, really good, so I can be more aggressive. And this Ad Nauseam, with the Helm in play, will make all my spells cheaper. Even though I have to use my land drop, I probably will most likely get a free mana off of this Mox Opal. But if I hit something like a Soul Ring, it's going to be free anyway. And I can make 2 drop rocks, the couple I have, tap for even mana. So it's actually pretty good odds when my life is still so high. And I really don't even want to pass. Plus, I pretty much have to have the Helm out anyway to be able to use the Ad Nauseam. I did not want to go get Yawgmoth's Will and just take that route just because it's slightly more open to hate. And as you'll see here, that ends up being the right choice because I wheel this player into a Bajoka Bog. So had I taken the Yawgmoth's Will, even though the line looks slightly more solid, it was much more open to hate, which is why I didn't take it. I would much rather be safe than sorry, especially when I'm playing against people when I have such a massive advantage already. This Blood Chief Ascension makes me worry a little bit about going off on turn, because if I do whiff, it's very easy for this card to turn online and then make my life a living hell at no life. But I also decide I just do not want to pass again. This guy has too much mana. He could make me have to pact an Armageddon or something like this. I don't think he would make that play, but you never know. I don't even know if that's a bad play for me here or not, but I mean, I really don't want to lose my lands right here. He could even play something as simple as Return to Dust, and it could just be a complete blowout. So I think the safest route is to try to go off, especially if this guy taps out or taps his blue. And he thinks about it for a while, and he plays the Dark Steel Ingot. At this point, I go, if he's the only one with Counterspell, if he's the only blue player anyway, I can just pact it anyway. I never want to have to pay for my pact trigger, ever. And I think about if I pass and cover the Ad Nauseam with the pact, then I've still got to pay pack trigger, and my chances of going off are just as bad. And if you see, I can't even pay pack trigger because this does not get reduced by helm. Because of that, I'm just going to use it as a free counter on turn, which I don't end up not even needing, and attempt to go off here. My odds, I think, are actually pretty good. So we hit the turnabout right at the gate, which isn't as good when we chose to play when we don't have full islands and we're trying to go off on turn 3. But we can still make it work. With Helm Awakening play, it actually just costs 3. But the thing that's big here is we hit the Soul Ring like immediately, and this makes me feel very confident. Once I've hit the Soul Ring, because I have the Hercules recall and because I have the Helm, I already know that this line is going to be very good. But I did lose my Mind Society to this bend, so I'm going to have to use a different line. But because I have this Helm Awakening, I'm thinking Future Sight is probably the best line I can take, most likely, because Future Top is very cheap to assemble, especially now that I already have the Helm in play. So I just keep hitting aggressively here since I'm going to be going off on turn. We get a few duds. We get this gamble, which is amazing, but I end up not even having to use it here because I have a more solid line because I, in fact, hit the Future Sight. So now my line is Future Top. I'm going to build a ton of Storm before I Future Top. I guess I could have just went straight into the Future Top, but I'm going to build tons and tons of Storm because I do not have the Mind Desire. And I'm just going to go for a Tendrils Remand kill with like Storm at like 40. So we're going to play all this mana here. I think I even go into a Mind Over Matter first, just to make use of all my mana here. So we get the High Tide out. We use the Turnabout. We're not going to ping ourselves with the City of Brass because we want to use the Vampiric Tutor. We can just save the gamble. We're going to untap our non-damaged lands here. Wrap out some more free Storm, and eventually we're going to just play the Future Sight and go get top. And now I just dig through my deck for Tendrils. I think I just find Merchant Scroll and get Remand along the way, and then eventually I hit Mystical Tutor and I just go, let's go get Tendrils. And Tendrils at 36 with a Remand is more than enough to seal this game. So they didn't really put up much of a fight. It wasn't the best game, but the deck did work incredibly well. Turn 3 kill is fast for this deck. Turn 5 is slow. It's usually a turn 4 deck. That's how I built it, but we like turn 3 kills, so pretty good game.